CMSD parents, educators, fellow caregivers, and teachers. I am coming to you today to talk to you about math at home. My name is Yolanda Risner. I am a Cleveland Metropolitan School District teacher, and I currently teach at Hannah Gibbons STEM School. So I am coming to you to talk to you about how you can increase math talk at home with your children. So what I like to do with my own kids is just talk through everything, and they don't even realize that we're talking about math. All right, first we're going to talk about number concepts, and specifically counting and what you can do with numbers. So you are starting with your youngest children, and you are putting their onesie on over their head, and you say, okay, 1, 2, 3, and you put it over their head. They're learning to count to 3 just by hearing you say it. You can also do things like when you're walking up the stairs, count the number of steps on the stair. When you pass out their snack or their dinner, and you say, okay, I am going to give you some Cheerios. Let's count them. So you pass them out and you say, okay, how many do you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then they eat a couple of them, and you say, how many do you have left now? Now, when they start to get more advanced concepts called subitizing, they can look down and maybe they can say, I have 4 left. Well, if you had 7 and you have 4 left, 1, 2, 3, 4, how many did you eat? 1, 2, 3. Those kinds of conversations with your child are teaching them adding and subtracting and counting. The other thing you can do with something as simple as Cheerios, and let me come back down here on the screen, is you can just have them learning to count. So a lot of young children, when they count, they don't know one-to-one correspondence. They might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They've counted those same ones several times because they don't have one-to-one correspondence. When you're teaching that to them, you can simply teach them to put them into a row so that they can count straight down the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can also teach them to pick them up and move them to a new area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Learning that one-to-one correspondence is an important tool to know. The other thing you can do is something as simple as getting a plate. And you might say, show me 3 Cheerios. And so they take their Cheerios or grapes or whatever it is that you're eating, and they just move them and set them right on there. 1, 2, 3. They set them on the plate and you identify. And you might say, 1, 2, 3. How many are you going to have if I give you 2 more? See if they can count. Well, 1, 2 would take me to 5. Then have them put them there and check their answer. They have 5. You're doing math talk. Now, we're not always going to get a plate out like this. So sometimes it's as simple as when they say, can I have more Cheerios, Mom? And you say, how many do you want? Well, they might not realize, well, I just want 1 more. Well, this is only 1 more. So how many do you really want? And then they count them out and they can see how many they would actually want. Those are counting and one-to-one correspondence and math talk. You can also talk to them about seeing if sets are the same. Well, if I give you a set of 5 and then you just put some down there, do you have the same amount? Have them count them and check to see. When they say, hey, my brother has more than me, well, how many more? If you can tell me how many more, I'll give you more. Those are the kinds of things you can do to have math talk. Another thing that you can do with number concepts is making pairs. So maybe you have your son or daughter make sets of the shoes in the house. How many sets of shoes do we have? Find the matching shoes and put them together. Match the socks. We all know we hate that job. Take the socks, let's put them together. Have them make pairs. When you're making those pairs, take a look at them. Oh, is this sock lighter or darker? That's not the right one. That one's blue. That one's black. This one's longer. This one's shorter. Those are all math talk words. You could have them match forks and spoons to make sets. Maybe you say, how many people do we have in our family? We have 5 people, so we need 5 forks. Can you get 5 forks for us for dinner? Those are all things that you can have your child doing for math. Now, moving on to the more fun thing, if you want to play games with your children, we use just simple things. You can pick them up at the dollar store. We use regular cards, and I can say, okay, what is this one? This is an ace, and ace stands for number 1. How many big spots are in the middle? Same thing with the other one. Have them count the spots. They don't know what that number is? Count those out. Count them out with them. Play a game like War. Is it higher? Is it lower? Another game that we like to do sometimes in my house is 2 people take a die and you roll them until they match. And we keep rolling until you get a match. So I keep rolling until I get 2 that match. When I match, I have to say, oh, I have 2 6s, or I have 2 5s. They have to be able to identify them. So sometimes they have to count them out. They're making a match. They're also counting. We also do, for my older daughter, she'll roll them and she tells me what the total is with 3 dice. So she has to count them. She knows what 1 dice is right away. So I always tell her, start with the biggest number. So she starts with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17, is that right, Mom? And I'll tell her yes or no. So that's number concepts. The next thing we're going to talk about is geometry and spatial awareness. So when we talk about geometry, it's not necessarily as scary as the class geometry that you took when maybe you were in high school, but it's actually just talking about shapes and directions and making shapes in your body aware of different things around you. So you might say, we're going to talk about shapes today. Today we're going to talk about a circle. And they hold up that plate. A plate is a circle. What else is a circle? Oh, your bowl of Cheerios. That is a circle. Can you find anything else that's a circle? And maybe they look at the clock on the wall and they tell you that's a circle. Or something else around your house. Find different things that are circles. Then maybe you're moving on to the shape of a rectangle. And you say, hey, can you get out the rectangle cookie sheet? We're going to make some dinner. Or, oh, what shape is this card? This card is a rectangle. So those are other conversations you can have just to talk about finding shapes. Maybe you have them walk around and find you something that is a particular shape. Talk about the placement of things. When reading a storybook, you could talk about, where is the moon on this? Is it above the tree or is it below the tree? Is it under the tree? Or reference sizes by saying, is the fish bigger than the shark? Or is it smaller? Which animal is bigger? Which animal is smaller? You can make a map of your home and practice the spatial language by helping them make a map of their bedroom. The dresser is next to the bed. It is behind the rug. Those are questions that you can talk about how things are located. All right, everyone, our last topic today is measurement, which is my favorite topic to do at home because I personally love to bake. Now, even if you don't, just when you're following a simple recipe, read that recipe aloud to your children so that they start to hear math terms, that math talk in words that they will hear when they get to school. For example, saying something like half of the candy bar or 1/2 cup. When they are talking about doubling a recipe, teaching them that 1/4 a cup, if I double it, is the same as 1/2 a cup. How many 1/4 cups are in 3/4 of a cup? Letting them actually measure things out, even if it's something as simple as water. How many of these 1/4 cups do you think it will take to fill this up? And even if their measurements are not exact, that's okay because they're starting to play with math. The other thing you can do is teach them when you double a recipe. Well, if I had 1/4 of a cup and I added 1/4 of a cup to it, that's 2/4, which is the same as 1/2. Then they're hearing those terms, and you might just be thinking through them in your head, knowing what you are doing, but them hearing that math talk gets them prepared for it for school. The other thing with measurement is weight, and that can be as simple as, what do you think is heavier, a grape or an apple? And if you have a small scale, you could actually have them measure those things. Have them find something heavier than an apple. Have them go around the house and find something. These are things you can do while you're cooking. Send them on a scavenger hunt to find those things. The other concept with measurement is actually measuring things with a ruler or with a tape measure. My son loves running around and using the tape measure to measure things. And so I might say, Find something that's longer than this card, or find someone that's the exact measurement of this card. You don't have to use a ruler for that. He can be running around the house finding, oh, this box is about the same size as the card, Mom. That's measuring. He's just measuring with the card. Or how many card lengths is this notebook? And you take it and they measure with the cards. They can use those for measurement too. So much for taking time with me today to learn about math at home. I hope you found one thing that you could take with you to have some math talk with your child. Have a great day.